today is called How We Got Here. This movie is directed by Ben Cassie, produced and executive produced by Uche. The movie, of course, can be found on Uche TV. A quick recap of this movie is a young lady who is devastated from the past experiences she got from her ex. Her ex actually abandoned her and her kid. Now she later found out that the ex she has been looking for years is the one she is now working for. Now watch out for this movie to find out exactly what happened afterwards. What I like about this movie, let's start with the storyline. The storyline is really interesting. It's been a while I talk about, a movie storyline that I actually love. I mean, when in a hindsight, when you look at the story, it has been told before, but the way the story was written or the way the story was put together, you realize that it really is interesting. So I mean, basically you can say that the story is about a man abandoning his ex or abandoning his wife to be with his kids and later on coming back for them. Basically that's a quick recap of how you can put that story all together, which means that it has been told before, but trust me, watching this movie you will find it very interesting. So kudos to Uche. He actually did a big one on this movie. Now moving on to location of this movie. Uche. I think he likes using this ghetto. If you are used to his movies, you should be familiar with this particular ghetto that he used, and that was an amazing shot from this ghetto. And also the house of Emodi, that was also a very good house. I haven't seen this location of a house before. I think that was also nice, but especially the ghetto, the house that Uche Montana sleeps in, the shops that she always goes to beg, then of course the streets where she's selling, and of course also the other outside shots, part of the ghetto. I really do appreciate the location that Uche Nabunabo used in this movie. So kudos, this movie is really good. Then we go to the makeup and costume of this movie. This is something I also really like about this movie. The costume of Nwosu, she dressed so beautifully. Her makeup was on point. The makeup actually that I really like about this movie is Uche Montana makeup. You see the way she looks so pale, so poor, so devastated, so depressed. You see how her face looked, her outfit was on point, her hairdo was on point. And of course, when I talk about makeup, when her son went to steal and then they were beating her, you saw the scars at her back. That makeup was beautifully done. That whoever the makeup artist in charge of that scar makeup did really well, and they made it believable. Like when I was watching where they were throwing stones at her, I was thinking we're not going to see scars. I was like, okay, they're going to magically tell us that she's sick or something, but that was really nice that they see her back and to see all the scars that she got from the stones being thrown at her. So that was a good makeup right there. Then also I have to talk about the doctor in the movie. That guy is a comedian. He's a full-blown comedian, and I've seen him in numerous Uche Nabunabo's production, so I'm sure Uche kind of brings him on board, and he's a very good actor in terms of comedy wise. He is really good. That scene that he was treating Uche, I love that. I think he was the comedy part of this movie, so that was a good touch in this movie as well. And talking about scenes that I also like the scene that the neighbors or the hood, the boys were throwing stones at Uche Montana. That was also a very good scene, even though it was a little bit prolonged, but that was a really good touch as well. Then we move to cinematography. When it comes to Uche Nabunabo, I always don't appreciate his cinematography at all, but this one, I think I like the cinematography, especially the nice shots in the ghetto. Those were good lighting, and also Emodi's house, I mean the other location, that was, the lighting in that house was beautiful. The brightness was okay compared to other Uche Nabonabo's production. This was a good lighting movie, and the ghetto, the night shots were pretty cool because you could see the characters' faces. Background light was okay, and then the focus light on, you know, the characters or the main characters in each scenes were also okay. So compare this cinematography to you know, similar productions to Uche Nabona, but this was quite a better one, and I really appreciate that, and I really like that about this movie. Lastly, but not the least thing that I like about this movie is also the size. Finally, a good size. You know, the size of the movie was exactly 6.9, and it fixed the right size of YouTube, and that was really good. Like, you could just sit down, relax, and enjoy this movie. And overall thing that I like about this movie is the intense character of Uche Montana. I've never seen Uche Montana in a YouTube movie act like this before. I don't know, I'm not a fan of her, so I wouldn't know, but this was a masterpiece from Uche Montana. She wowed me in this movie. I was really in love with her character. She brought this intense emotional connection when you watch this movie, and her acting was spectacular. Kudos to her. I mean, this is what we are always saying. Even if the storyline is repetition of other production, the acting and how you put everything that brings a movie together on point, nobody is going to criticize the movie or criticize the storyline. So this was really a good touch in an overall movie. Kudos to Uchenna Bonabo. What I don't like about this movie, obviously there are some few things I do not like about this movie. Let me start with the background sound or music of this movie. You know, every production on YouTube, or every producer on YouTube have their own special theme song for their movies, and of course also they also use YouTube music or YouTube sound for these movies. So in this particular movie, there's too many scenes actually in this movie where the editor or the director, I don't know, whoever was in charge in editing or putting this movie together, actually made so many mistakes in terms of the sound. So I'm going to blame the editing crew, and then of course the sound crew, because there were scenes where we're supposed to hear only Uchenna Bonabo's theme song, and then there was other scenes that we were supposed to hear only the YouTube sound. Now there were confusion because we were hearing both the YouTube sound and of course the Uchenna Bonabo theme sound. So two different sound playing at the same time in most cases in this movie, and that was a little bit confusing, and that was not professional at all. So whoever is in charge, please take note. Make sure that if we are listening to YouTube sound, let's listen to those songs. If we are listening to Uchenna Bonabo's theme songs or whatever produced by his crew, let's listen to that. Don't confuse the two and add two sounds together. Doesn't make sense. Two music playing at the same time, it doesn't make sense, please. So that was something that I noticed, which was not good. Another thing that I didn't like about this movie was the jump of a scene or too many scenes. Actually, this particular scene was what I didn't like about this movie, was where Go approach Uche or was confronting her about the situation, want to buy her out, buy, you know, Ray's son or whatever. From there to Uchenna and Ray at the restaurant, that was an unexpected jump. I did not expect that jump, or the next scene should be that at all. I was rather expecting the next scene should be, you know, Ego approaching Ray and talking things throughout with him and discussing that, oh, this cannot be. You rather go to your son or whatnot. Like, I was expecting an interaction between Ego and Ray coming to an understanding before Ray having, you know, the dinner or this sit and talk with Uche. That jump was not what I was expecting. So yes, that intense aggressiveness between the two ladies to Uche and Ray scene in the restaurant, the jump was not it. So that was something that I was not happy with at all. Another thing that I didn't like about this movie is the boys acting. I wasn't really, cool with the boys acting, as if he knew it wasn't natural. It wasn't really, I know he's a kid, but yeah, his acting was not something that I was connecting with. He wasn't professional compared to other kids actors that we know on YouTube space. They are better actors, and this boy is not it at all. There were so many scenes that you could just tell that he knows that he's on set, and you could even read his body language when they say cat act. You could just know that no, this boy is not just it. As much as Uche tries to control him to be in character, it wasn't it. So that boy's acting was a little bit distracting in an overall performance for me. Lastly but not the least, this movie is super long. This movie is 2 hours 30 minutes. Ooh, guys, it is too long, guys. It's too long. So yes, those are the things I do not like about this movie. Despite that, I'm going to give this movie a 7/10. Obviously, this is a good movie from Uche Nwosu. I think this is his first hit movie in 2025. I took notice that he has changed his logo and his watermarks and everything, so I guess he is ready for more movies in 2025. But like I said, this was a hit movie, How We Got Here. If you haven't watched it, please go to Uche Nwosu TV and do so as well. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you all in my next movie review.